So this is my newest case Sodbuster. This is the one with the yellow synthetic handles, or Delrin, or whatever it's called, handles. It's like a light yellow. It's not a really pronounced yellow color. It's kind of like a pale light yellow, so it's not that big of a deal. And the blade on this one is the chrome vanadium or chrome vanadium, or the CV steel, which isn't a stainless steel. It has less chromium in it than stainless steel, so the blade does stain and color and discolor and stuff, which means that as you use this knife, it will develop a patina. There's a little bit of discoloration on this blade. I don't know if you can really see that, but that's from cutting a tomato and cutting up some Spam and stuff, food prep tasks. The cool thing about the chrome vanadium or chrome vanadium or CV, as far as I'm concerned, is it will develop a patina over time, which I think is cool. As you use the knife, it'll, discolor and everything. Of course, the bad thing about it is if you don't wipe off your blade after using it, it can very easily rust. I found with the True Sharp stainless that rusts too. You just have to be less careful about that than you have to be with this knife. But this knife, as soon as it touches water, it doesn't rust. I've let sweat sit on the blade for a little while, and it hasn't really rusted or anything. It's not like the Opinel, where if you get any of your sweat or like perspiration or anything on that blade, it will rust. So this has a little bit more chromium than that knife does, I believe. But yeah. So from what I've heard from people on the internet, the chrome vanadium, chrome vanadium, or whatever is similar to a 1095 steel. I don't know how accurate that is or whatever. The case doesn't call it a 1095. It's just called CV or chrome vanadium. It seems to hold an edge reasonably well. Not necessarily any better or any worse than the True Sharp stainless. I basically just bought this knife because I wanted to have that patina on it because I thought that'd be cool. But anyway, my experiences with this knife have been good. I haven't had any real issues with it. When I got it, it wasn't quite as sharp as I wanted it to be. It seems like these days most of case knives don't really come razor sharp anymore. They all have a slightly like toothy edge on them. It's a usable edge. Like you could cut tape off of packages and stuff with it pretty easily. Cut, most of the stuff that people are going to cut with a knife, but they're just not like hair shaving sharp or anything. So I had to touch it up on my ceramic sticks a little bit, just like I had to do with my case trapper I bought a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so you're probably gonna have to touch up the blade a little bit. Every knife is probably a little different. These are, made in America. They're made in Pennsylvania, in fact, which of course I love because I'm from Pennsylvania. They're made in Bradford, Pennsylvania. Owned by Zippo, in fact. But yeah, so there's some differences in fit and finish. My blue one, the blade lockup is not as good as on this one. This one has almost no blade play. My blue one has a little bit of blade play. Of course, my blue one I've had for, over 2 years now, so I've been using it for that long, so, it has a little blade play. This is an old knife design. It's part of the design, pretty much. There are some small gaps in between the brass liners and the back spring. If I can get it to show it, probably not. The fit between the blade and the back spring is pretty good on this knife. Like I said, it has like almost no blade play, if any at all. The blade itself, like the spine on it, is kind of rounded off. It's not like a 90-degree angle like my blue one is. I don't know if all of them are like this or not, but you're not going to be able to strike a ferro rod with this if that's something you're into. And the tip on this knife, I don't think I can get it to show, but the very point on this tip is not sharpened. When I got it out of the box, it wasn't, sharpened. Which you could, fix on a sharpening stone or on a wheel or whatever. But I just haven't really felt like it. It's kind of a waste of time in my opinion because I don't really use the very tip of the knife very often. And it's sharp enough to do what I need it to do when it comes to, stabbing things or whatever. Anyway, the fit and finish on this knife is pretty good. It's an old knife design, so you have to know what you're looking at pretty much. The blade centering, it's not centered. It's actually touching the brass liner on that side, which is kind of frustrating, but, you know, it's an old knife design and it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's a tool. I feel like most of the case knives I deal with are not blade centered, and that's okay, whatever. They are tools and they are going to be used as tools. But, you know, other than that, the fit and finish on this knife is pretty good. You know, it's got some slight gaps in between the liners and the handles. The very tip of the knife isn't sharpened, you know, quite the whole way to the tip. But other than that, I mean, it seems to have pretty good fit and finish. The blade doesn't have any blade play, so that's, you know, cool. But yeah, so if you're looking for a affordable traditional knife that you can use every day or whatever, you know, if you're like me and you like to have a little bit bigger blade, you can get the Case Sodbuster in True Sharp stainless with blue or black handles, or you can get one in CV with these yellow handles. And I think they probably make the stainless and the yellow handles too, but I just like the CV. But anyway, so, and they also make the Sodbuster Junior, which is a little bit smaller. But this is like my favorite knife design. You know, it's definitely not for everyone, but I really like the knife design. And if you're looking for a Sodbuster knife, you know, the Case makes awesome Sodbuster knives. They have some slight issues with, you know, fit and finish and everything, but it's usually not that big of a deal to the actual use of the knife, you know. So if you're like a collector who only likes to collect very nice examples of knives or whatever, probably not, you know, the best company to go for. But if you're somebody who actually uses their knives and everything, these are great knives. Anyway, I would definitely recommend the Case Sodbuster in either the CV or the stainless steel. Get the CV if you like to have that little bit of patina, because I think it's cool, but, you know, everybody might not think that way. So anyway, that's a really kind of long review on a knife that I've already pretty much reviewed, but in a different steel.